So hello everyone, welcome to a brand new learning series on SAP Generative AI, Joule and SAP Build Code. First of all, I would like to thank all of you from the team ZAPYard and ZAPcademy to join this course, enroll this course and having a trust on us on the learning journey of yours. So definitely we ensure that this course will definitely add a new further to your learning exercises that you were already planned. So before going to start anything to this session, I would like to just make sure one doubt has to be cleared for all participants. I know that the participant has been joined from different roles actually. Some of you may be an ABAPers, some of you may be a Fiori consultant, some of you may be from a different programming knowledge background. Some of you may be a programming manager or let's say maybe a completely a project manager or architect or somebody is completely new to BTP or a fresher, let's say. So the course, whatever we have planned, and the curriculums of the course, how it is planned, to make sure that wherever, whatever the experience you have, and whatever the prior knowledge you have about all the other terms, like take an example of BTP, a Fiori, a bit of let's say generative AI, then how to run basically code Joule, or it's not required, it's not necessarily to have a prior knowledge on any of this. We will take you through each and every individual detail uh, to a very a minute level to a broad deep level, so that at the end of the course you'll be having enough understanding and knowledge about each and every individual topic that you have been covered here. If you still feel that you are not able to grab it properly in any of the particular class or any of the particular terminology that we are used in a class, or if you want to know more detail about it, please do communicate. Whoever already joined to this session, I would really request all of you to join to the WhatsApp group link. It's been distributed all of you, so that it will be a collaboration of all the team members. We can understand your pain points, we can understand the your feedbacks of course, and if you need more help, so that we can give you we can think through and what exactly your need is, you can understand and give you through more input about it in terms of a document or our existing videos or whatever it is. Like that is how we are planned to roll out this session. So by that note, I would really is going to start this session. My name is Karthik Mana. I'm a BTP trainer. I'm working in this profession last 10 years. So I will take you through this exciting course. Frankly speaking, this is one of the course that we have already planned for a very long time, but we have created the curriculum such a way so it will be useful for all of you. So first, what we'll start with is we'll start with the understanding of generative AI, because generative AI is something that everybody is talking about in every corner. If you go, most of the companies are putting all of their effort, to build some sort of a product out of it, which can act very smartly, or to enhance their existing process by the help of generative AI. If you take an example of SAP, like SAP also build up their own tool, like own platform, where they can make the developers, or you can the entire community's lives much easier in terms of providing an AI tool, which is Joule here. Most of you might not be aware of Joule. Will come through. So there they have came up with a platform called Joule, which can act as a generative AI. Their own sense of ChatGPT. Let's say I'm giving in a broad understanding, their own assistant that can help you and that can talk to you as a programmer, that can talk to you as an automation developer, that can talk to you as an ABAP consultant. So this is how the journey is SAP taking through in their generative AI platforms. But how they are doing it and how basically a generative AI works, we should understand the basic core principle about generative AI. We should know how ChatGPT is working, what is the technology behind it, how it operates, so that only we can able to take the understanding of it and implement our use cases where we can enhance our use cases or we can build our own product by the help of generative AI or the latest platforms of the AI that is basically available on the market. So I'll request everybody to go in mute because the session is getting recorded, so it can create some sort of a let's keep it very clean and clear. And if you have any sort of questions, put down in your like chat box. We'll pause in sometimes. We'll discuss about the questions and we'll carry forward and make sure that the questions are answered by end of the session. So I'll go about the first slide that we have, SAP Generative AI. Now everybody heard about SAP, everybody heard about Generative AI in a very high level. But if you break down this word Generative AI, like the first one generate and the second one artificial intelligence. Like if you see by the name itself, generate, to create a new content. The content, it may be in a form of an audio, it may be in a form of a programming language or a coding, it may be a form of an image, text, or a video. Now, it is to generate. But what is AI, artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence, that is something which, let's say, if I tell you artificial intelligence in a sense where like where intelligence like the power of intelligence by the machines and particularly for the computer system, you are just depicting some of your ideas in terms of coding, in terms of some sort of a programming, other form of programming languages, and you're asking the machine to perform this. That anyway, that human can do that, but you are expecting the machine to perform the same thing that you programmed. But that is a very basic form of AI. The things has evolved down the line where the deep learning, the machine learning, those things are coming. That we'll discuss in a slide for more understanding. Just to understand right now, AI is something automatically using the computer scenarios, which can developer can already can perform, but it is doing behalf of the developer. So generative AI in a form where you can create some new content by the help of an AI. Now, if I go for an like kind of a definition, it's a type of artificial intelligence technology that can produce various type of content, including text, image, audio, or any sort of a synthetic data. The recent buzz around generative AI has been driven by the simplicity of user interface. Like you can hard the entire scenario got changed when the ChatGPT and the OpenAI has launched, and it is publicly given access to everyone, and everyone can open their phone or their laptop, opening this platform and searching about any prompt or any queries, and the platform is giving the answers, which is kind of in a very sophisticated manner. There are some questions people used to ask where like kind of an like let's say give an example. I want to write an essay on something, which people are driving on the car and they are just giving this prompt to the chat GPT or OpenAI, and it is giving it instantly result. So nobody thinks about it. Like everybody got shocked and surprises like how this is actually happening. But do you think the generative AI is very new by the time OpenAI or the chat GPT has been actually launched by by that time it was not very new to us. Generative AI is something which is coming from very early, long back in 1931 it has started. 1960 the actual form of generative AI, which is a chatbot, has introduced. But by then, if you think about our normal life, we are using generative AI for a very long time. If you take an example of Google Translator, that is also a form of generative AI where we are translating our text from one particular language to another language, and it has been coming from 2006. It is almost completed 18 years now. So it is there. If you take an example of iPhone users, Siri, OK Google for the Android user, Cortana for the Windows users. So we have given some sort of a command. Based on the command, the systems are giving us results. And also, if you see in your phone, if you open a phone, you'll be having an option to use the AI mode camera. So it is not something very new. If you take an example of Google search engine, of course everybody has used Google search engine, right? If you write something definition of, and if you give C, it already gives you some sort of a suggestions called as an auto suggestions. It is coming like definition of culture, community, compound, conflict, climate. So it is understanding, and it is giving you some auto sense of result. This is also a form of generative AI. This is there. This is there from very long time. We are using generative AI in some other form, but it is not sophisticated as the OpenAI or ChatGPT is providing nowadays. Now everything is there, but now the question comes: what exactly got changed? Because people are not talking about when these platforms are there. The hype, the buzz, the first was not there at all. But what exactly got changed? If you see the history of this AI evolution, it has started with 1932. It has evolved down the line. It has evolved with a different form of a technology. But by the 2018 to 2023, it has a game changer where we have we have got a kind of a platform open to all with extraordinarily feature with a sophisticated value that can produce text, produce images, produce like kind of an audio right now, a video. It can be any form of data right now. So that is how it has evolved. But the buzz, the first that is there, how it is changed. It has changed when the OpenAI announces ChatGPT like GPT-4, and they have claimed that it can be beat 90% of humans on the SAT. So by anyone if doesn't know about SAT, it is one of the exam that the students has to get through in America before going to join to their university. So they claimed that they can beat 90% of the humans on the exam SAT. Like what? Like by this Chat GPT-4 specifically the version, it can perform so nicely so that the complex exam also can able to perform, and it is better than human. Also they said a ChatGPT 4 can get top marks in law, medical exams, and other exams. So when they claimed officially this one, 2023 March 14th, and they have launched the platform also with the version GPT-4, which is more sophisticated and it can provide a wonderful results. But everybody wants to know what exceptionally ChatGPT 4 is doing and how it is doing. Like we already used generative AI. We know now ChatGPT or the OpenAI or the new latest generative AI platforms. But what is the fundamentals? It is there behind it, or what is the technology, core technology behind it? That is very important to know because if you see, I mean, it has taken only 2 months time for a ChatGPT to reach 100 million users. If you compare to the other platforms, whatever like our beloved Google Translator, it has taken 78 months time to reach 100 million users. TikTok 9 months. So definitely that's something. I mean, something first is there around this particular technology, and if you think of out of 100 million users, there are so many users are paid users also. So that kind of a revenue they're generating at the end of the every month. So it's phenomenal actually. Now let's try to understand a bit of technology point of view. I know most of you might not be from a technical background, so I would like to keep it very simple in a broad level to give you an overview first. Then, if you still feel that it is going very deep, just put down a message on the chat. So I will just go a bit in the top level. Now, first of all, there will be some three questions come to your mind. How did we get from a single purpose system like a Google Translator to ChatGPT? What is the core technology behind this ChatGPT? And what's the future going to look like? Should you be worried about it? These three fundamental questions are there when you discuss about generative AI in current landscape. Answer the first question, like how exactly it happened and what is the technology behind it. These two questions. So before going to understand everything, there's a concept available in the area of artificial intelligence called as language model. You know, and LLMs, the word everybody use nowadays. LLM's full form is large language models, but the term here you take as language model. Now I'll come to this slide slightly late. I kept it here for a reason. A language model is something that we should know. But before that, let's understand what basically a language model do. You have given a sequence of word. Let's say I want to. There's an option I have given. I want to shovel, I want to play, I want to swim, I want to eat. Now, whenever you choose any specific phrase here, I want to shovel, I want to play, I want to swim, I want to eat. I'm trying to create a context out of it. Like I am basically giving what I'm exactly want to do and trying to create a context. Now, the last options that I have, I want to eat lots, I want to eat fruits, I want to play video, I want to play tennis. These are the options or the prediction. It comes next to me by the use of a language model. Means I'm writing somewhere I want to. If you see nowadays, if you are writing in an email, please find the automatically it is giving a reference attached email. Or if you're giving it somehow thank you or let's say thanks and automatically regards is coming in your email draft as well. If you go to in Gmail or if you go to Outlook, these features are already available. If you are writing in your mobile and you're trying to write something, it can also give you some sort of auto suggestions. Now how does that work? That work based on a language model. A language model is trained with so much of data that it can predict that what exactly you're expecting to write next. But how it is predicting? Based on the context that you are creating. Now, I want to shovel, I want to play. When you give play, it is creating a context. And based on your context, it is trying to give you a prediction what comes next. Now, that is the work of a language model. Now, you'll be asking, now how this works, like how this prediction works, and how it is predicting. That is more important to understand. So, let's understand that. Now, just think of we have a language model in place. You asked a question or you are just writing down something. The color of the sky is, there's a prediction matched at the output of this language model, which I didn't discuss about more in detail, that I'm going to do now. The color of the sky is blue as an output with a 91% of the prediction rate. Now, why it is giving 91% of the prediction rate and how this prediction happened? Because if you see here, there are two arrows here. There is another out arrow is there. These two are the input section of any language model. And this is called a neural network. It is acting as a brain. Now think, let's say, let's assume this language model is your a new baby. On the very first day, you are giving training to the baby to speak. Hey, say mama, hey, say papa. And you are giving with different form of things. You say papa, the mama, different words you generally gives to the baby in everyday's life. But ultimately, when the baby able to speak, you'll be able to speak in a form that may not be accurate. Exactly what you mimicked, it may not be the answer or it may not be the output like that. It based on how the baby has trained her mind with the input taken by you, how it is processed with this. Like if you see inside this is called kind of a hidden layer which every human being is having in their brain. So this is called a neural network. If you see, this is how it looks like. Let's say there are 5 inputs are there. You are giving 5 inputs. We are having ultimately 3 outputs. But there are 2 layers in between, which is called as a hidden layer. This is an example of a simple neural network. So if somebody don't know what neural network is, for them, it's nothing but neural network is a series of algorithms that can recognize the relationship on the data that you are giving as an input. And it is trying to mimic the way the human being's brain operates by connecting this notch and trying to form a matrix format. See this input as connecting to all different other hidden layers nodes and trying to form kind of a relationship. And after creating this all the form, it is coming to a conclusion. Okay, these are the 3 appropriate output out of it. So similarly, if you go back to my first example, my color of the sky is blue. Blue is not the only color that has been trained. In this language model, it may be trained with so many other things. But with this context, maybe the blue is the word or blue is the color has been trained, or the neural network output giving some more accuracy on the prediction. So this is called a language model. This is where the machine learning is coming into a form where you can train the data in a form of corpus. I'll come to that. So just as a basic understanding, there is a model or a machine learning model is available that is understanding the context, what exactly the human wants to explain, like able to the human is trying to show. Based on that, the nearest or the most predicted result, it is concatenating and giving you the value. Now, the cases of this definition of all these things, it is trying to give the maximum probable matches of the word C, which has been mostly searched, or it may be by the algorithms they kept it in their machine learning or the language model, the most common match things based on the age of the particular user, based on the location the particular user is right now, based on the search history of the particular person who is using in the use case of Google. Because for this, Google is a browser search engine. It main fundamental of the search engine to basically give a search result. That's what they consider all the other background things along with the language model they have created, and they are creating a form for output. But if you see here in this, they are giving a very possible matches based on the data that you train inside it. So now coming to a language model. What is a language model? It's a statistical model that predicts the probability of a sequence of words. It can predict the probability of sequence of words. It is a type of an artificial neural network that we just now learned about it, that has been trained on massive amount of text data and understand the language and predict the next word in a sequence. So there is a huge number of data. It is trained to this model with a different sequence. And based on that, the model is predicting the most accurate next one. That is the work of a language model. Now, how will you create your own language model? Now, this is what you learned the neural network is. Now, there is a recipe to create your own language model. Let's say I want to create my own language model. How will I create that? Now, to create your own large language model or your own language model, you must be collecting a very large corpus. Corpus is nothing but it's a set of data. So whenever it comes to a learning, whenever it comes to a machine learning, or it comes to any sort of form of learning, the most important thing is the data. So you must be having a source where you can collect the data from. Maybe a Wikipedia, it may be a book, it may be a Stack Overflow, Quora, it may be a public social media, GitHub, for it, anywhere. Collect the data of the particular context you want to build a like language model. Once you collected the entire whole sort of a data, now you need to train your model with the machine learning fundamentals. There is some technology behind it to train it. Now you have to put all the data. Let's say I'm giving all sort of my big corpus and trying to like train the model. As an example, I'll give an example to you. It can make you much clear. Let's say, um, let's say you are trying to train a specific model that you are hungry. You know, now the language model can predict your hunger or kind of a food based thing. Now you are training here the data with I am hungry. I want to have a burger. I want to have a pizza. I want to have a noodles. I want to order a noodles. I want to order a pizza. I want to let's say I want to parcel a pizza right now. I want to dine it a pizza right now. I want to order a burger. I want to have a dine in a big restaurant right now. Like all this sort of a data, all those sort of a conversational words, or it may be a big text, a paragraph about food, about pizza. You are putting into it and you are training this particular model. Now, what is the next thing you will do? Now, once you train those things, you need to now taste it whether your model accurately performing or not. Now, what you will do? Now you'll be saying, I want to order. Then you write, I want to order a pizza. Then what you will do? You truncate or you remove a pizza. You just keep I want to order. Then you understand whether your model is predicting the other words or other possible matches. From the model, it should give you I want to order a pizza, a burger, a let's say a noodles, because these are the three data I have trained to my model. So if it is not happening, then that your model is not become accurate. You need to train again and again. So this is how a machine learning getting trained. It has to give a whole big number of corpus. You need to program, like you need to just keep your model to get trained with the unstructured or structured data that you given to the model, and you need to play and you need to create this like randomly truncate the last part of the input sentence. This is very important. So you need to remove truncate means truncate means you need to remove some of the words by knowingly that let's that I want to order a pizza. Now you are removing a pizza here and you are expecting the model to give as a some kind of a probability on the missing words. Now once you find out your bot is giving I want to order a human, of course that is not a correct context. That is not what it is trained for. Then it is not appropriate, right? So you have to take that feedback to the model where it is fitting, where it is failing, where exactly you can fine tune it. That you need to take that particular feedback, and it is matching to the ground truth or not. Like ground truth is nothing but I want to order a pizza or a burger or a noodles here. So once until this particular exercise is not giving accurate output, you need to continue repeat over the time. Now all these things basically take sometimes a language model creates in 1 minute, 30 seconds. Sometimes it takes kind of a months also to understand your data, to break down your data, and to analyze your data and create a language model out. Now, before going to do anything else, I want to show you something. Now, let's say when somebody says, if somebody says, I'm hungry, you know, and when somebody says, now there is a difference between these two. You should understand the difference between these two. that can help you to understand something really interesting. Once I say I am hungry, here the term hungry is very, very important. You know, now it is try to give a context that the person needs some food. Now it is not very clear what exactly the person wants to have, right? I am hungry. I may have a pizza. I may have a burger in the context that I just give an example, or I may have a noodles. Now, based on my wish, there's a second level of confirmation is required, because in this context, whatever I tried to give it here, it was not very clear what exactly I want to have. In this particular one, if you see, it is very clear that I want to order or I want to have a pizza. Once I say that I want to have a pizza, it is more clear, and it is also basically giving one sort of a context that the person is hungry, isn't it? Once I say this word, it is giving a proper context with a proper reference that the person is hungry and you want to have a pizza. Once I give this particular sentence, I am hungry, it is not very specific. Now, there is something called as NLP. What is the full form of NLP? The NLP full form is Natural Language Processing. Now, whatever we are discussing here, there is a natural language. Like I am hungry, I want to have a pizza. But here, the processing is a very important word. How to process? Once you say this word that I am hungry or I want to have a pizza, this particular NLP is trying to process and trying to understand two things out of it. One is called as intent, another word is called as entity. In this two form, the entire NLP is lying. What does it intent mean and what does it entity mean? Intent means what you want to do. Here, I am hungry. Is my intent that I want some food. I'm hungry. Entity is just defining what exactly you want to do. I want to order a pizza. Now here, this pizza is the entity. Intent, the entire language. So similarly, when it is trained, it is training the model with some sort of a form of a data. Let's say you are giving some, let's say I talked about big corpus, right? Big sort of data. Let's say I'm giving some sort of a conversational text. I am hungry. I want some food. I want to order food. I want to have a pizza. I want to have a burger. I want to have a noodles. Please order some food. Please give me food. Now, let's assume that I'm creating a language model and I have given the language model name as foodie. Okay. Now, okay, this is my language model. Now, I am trying to train this foodie language model with this below like conversations. Now, what is actually going underline of it? It is going this particular languages or this particular sentences via this NLP layer. Once this NLP layer is processing each and every individual lines, trying to understand the intent and the entity. Now here, there should be an option for you to specify what the entity exactly is. You can say here in the machine learning, pizza is my entity, burger is my entity, noodles is my entity. So these are the three entities you are specifying. Similarly, the example that I have given here, I want to play, swim, eat. So play, swim, eat is my entities. I want to do something is the general context. Play, swim, eat is the entity. After play, tennis video is another form of a sub-entity. Eat lots of fruit is a sub-entity. So this is how it breaks down your sentences in the layer of NLP. And it used to train the model. Similarly here, the color of the sky is blue. Then then somebody has given the rainbow colors is all the seven colors. Then somebody has given one more things like the color of the ocean is blue. The color of this here sky, ocean, all the other things are the entity. Blue is the color, is an entity. So the model, whenever you are training with the big corpus, whenever a machine learning person has trained those things, they are very, very like particular about the fact where they are defining the context properly. And of course, they definitely give what is your intent and what is your entity properly so that the machine can understand your your context properly. Here I am hungry, so hungerness is the actual intent, and you require a food that is the most important value out of it. So what exactly you need, that is the suggestions or that is the predictions come out of it of the language model. Once you say I want to order, then all these things should come. I hope you're understanding my point. Somebody, if I didn't check the chats actually. Okay, so is it okay or you find it very difficult to understand?
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how it goes whenever we try to plan or train any language model. So this is how the language model generally works. I'm just giving a very brief about it. We'll go down later. Now, this is the recipe, as I said, to create your own language model. Now, this particular diagram you guys have already might be seen in so many other places, and here it's showing us the relationships between the artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, the NLP I talked about, and the computer vision. First of all, let's understand AI, ML, and deep learning. So, as I said, AI is kind of a very broad level, like where you can say like it has equipped the computers to emulate the human's behavior. It can enable, by enabling them, you can say, to learn by itself, take the decisions, recognize some sort of a patterns. Let's say, I'll give an example. You are let's say going to train a model. I'm giving this model as SAP user ID. I'm trying to draw a context which may be understandable for most of us. So let's say I'm giving a context SAP user ID. Now somebody wants to create a conversation, and they want to create a model so that it can understand the SAP user IDs. Now if you see SAP user IDs, let's say some person should be having from India. They're having IN underscore Karthik, IN underscore Prasad, IN underscore Raju. Let's say Raju I'm giving not from India, he's from US. Prasad, let's say not from India. I'm giving he is from, let's say, uh, giving it some other place. I'm just taking an example of, let's say, Netherlands. Now, let's say if a company they're just maintaining their user IDs in this format, or somebody are not just they're not doing in this format. They might be doing in some other format also. They might be doing it uh, user ID UIN, you know. Then they're giving it user ID for NL. Now user ID for US, like that. Now you tell me, when you train, you have a very large amount of data. You are having thousands of SAP user IDs. You have the list of user IDs. Now you want to train a model out of it that can predict and understand that IN underscore Karthik or UIN underscore UIN Karthik. Now this is a two format I have given. It may be any other format, isn't it? I am following these two format. Somebody may be following some other pattern as well. Now, whenever you comes to your model, you have to train with the data set that you have. Let's say for your company, if they are following this pattern, you have to train all the data that you have, and you have to give to the model. Now, what model will do, the model will try to do an AI. The AI model will do what? It is trying to recognize the data that you have given, and based on the data, it is try to learn and try to take the decisions by finding out a pattern here. If you see here, the common pattern is two alphabet underscore. It may be anything. The alphabet may be from anything. So this is the common pattern they have recognized here. So what it will do, whenever you train with this sort of a data, and whenever you are writing something, it will understood this particular word is belongs to a SAP user ID from your text. Let's say if you write something, I want to reset password of in the EMP system, production system. Now, if somebody says this word, what does it actually denoting is, it is trying to understand that somebody wants to reset password. But here, this is basically one language. Now, if you think in NLP point of view, this somebody wants to reset password here. But what is the exact user ID they want to reset, which is IN underscore Karthik? How it is getting recognized? By the language model you have created here for the SAP user ID with the pattern of data. In this case, the common pattern is this. But sometimes there will be no pattern at all. Somebody's name, a movie name. Let's say it may be some other form of a data where the actual problem comes, where finding out entity would be really, really difficult. And that requires a huge amount of data to train in terms of a noun, pronoun, verb, understanding of that the name is a noun, how the noun is getting thing, what are the different types of name you are training to that. Then only it will understand that your name as a noun and it is giving as an entity as a name. So it goes so many things in the background to find out or to break down the the text that you are giving as an input, and this text is called as a prompt. The text you are feeding to your bot or your platform of AI, that is basically called as a prompt. And the prompt is something based on the prompt. If you see, if you have used ChatGPT, you definitely give you a prompt. Hey, like create or write a essay for me on this topic with 100 of words. Use these are the like mm, use some quotation from Mr. Tagore, from this guy, and it drafts. Now whatever you have written on the input, that input has considered as a prompt. Now that prompt, basically, if you see prompt, is basically nothing but the input the users given to the bot or an artificial intelligence to perform something. Now a prompt generally has a four genuine sections. A prompt generally have four sections. So whatever I was showing it by this, I am hungry, I want some food. These are the input you are giving it. That can be act as a prompt, but it is not a genuine prompt. Why? Because a prompt is something which will be having a four fundamental. One should be request, one should be reference, one should be format, one should be framing. These are the four fundamentals every prompt should have it to have a genuine sort of a prompt. Like if you are not requesting anything, then how will you expect your bot will perform something for you? Each and every request that we make in ChatGPT, OpenAI, Bard, or Gemini, like we always request, write a essay for us. Can you tell me what is the answer of this? Explain these things. That means you are requesting something. Now you are giving sometimes a reference. You are asking, just please write down an essay with a reference to that. Sometimes you are giving with 100 words as a format, or with a proper grammatical words. Check the grammars of this particular text, whether it is correct or incorrect. Rephrase my email with 100 words. Create my KRA goals with this many words with the specific bullet points. Here, the bullet points is a format and the frames that you're basically talking about. So, whenever you say or ask any sort of a prompt, that prompt has to be follow these four fundamental things. So, that is what like that is what it basically helps you to create a genuine prompt. So prompt engineering is one of the high demanded job, most of you know. To write a proper prompt also very important. If you don't know, and if you give some abstracted prompt in your chat gpt or in your AI models, it will not give you a appropriate result. That you already know, because most of you are already using chat gpt, OpenAI, or Gemini from very long time, by 1 year almost. So now coming back where I left, when I talk about this artificial intelligence, it is nothing but the basic levels where the machine learns, machine find out, recognize the patterns, and solve a complex problem as a kind of a look like a human intelligence. Now machine learning is a subset of AI. Inside that artificial intelligence, a subset is machine learning, which definitely try to find out. It has been basically trained with the advanced sort of an algorithms to detect the pattern in detail. And if you are like if you're talking about what is the difference between AI and ML, ML is more like sophisticated in terms of understanding your data. Sometimes your data are clustered, sometimes your data are unstructured. At that point in time, this machine learning having the capability to detect the pattern from your large corpus, and it also helps, or it also allows the machine to learn and adapt from the data that you have been basically feeding to the system. Because there, inside the machine learning only, by the algorithm, by the machine learns, where the learns comes from is the supervised and unsupervised learning methods. I'll come to some other classes where we'll talk about machine learning. There you'll use this, we'll use more in like more these terms, actually supervised and unsupervised learning. So these are the two methods of learning a machine learning model, you know. Now coming to deep learning. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning where they're using the neural network. I've shown you a neural network, right? So the neural network, why it is using for an in-depth data processing and analysis, because it breaks down your data to a multiple layers and try to think as a human mind. So I just shown you that neural network, right? Can you just think of, like, let me just show you something. Human mind or human face neural structure, neural network. See this? Now think that I was discussing about this thing for a small language model. Now somebody are creating for face recognition. Now, of course, a model, right? Somebody is creating for fingerprint recognition. Now, if somebody doing a face recognition, now if you see how that face is being recognized, let me show you a diagram that can help you to understand. If you see each and every individual point here is a data to be get trained. Each and every point that you see here are the data parameters that to be trained to the model to identify the actual person. You know, now if you see here how the neural network works, this is the input. So whenever you go to your company's front door, your face is recognized. But before recognizing the face, they generally take some of the images of yours, and that images passes through this particular model, where it is just passing through some sort of undercover layer and create a classifications out of it. This is where the deep learning works. Now coming to my point, it can, if you see here, human face, every like pieces here are converted into a neural network. I want to show you something like this. Yes, so it has just recognize your face as a neural network and see the size of the neural network. Here is the one particular in front of your face. It recognize your face and break down your face into some sort of, like, there are with so many of parameters which is getting trained internally with the picture that you have given, and it is trying to create a pattern out of it. It is trying to create a classification out of it, and based on that it generally recognize you as a human. So coming back to here, the deep learning is basically having that feature, like how the human brains actively works. It is also having some sort of a feature or some sort of a possibility with the deep learning. Now a deep learning, natural language processing, where what we're talking about just right now, NLP, a computer vision. So all these things are basically matching into a point where the generative AI is coming into picture. So this is where the generative AI actually comes, where by the help of a natural language processing, like, because you are giving a prompt, the prompt has to be understandable prompt. The prompt has to have a proper entity, proper intent, what exactly you want to do. It can have this all four parameters: request, framing, then you have like the other two. You have the request, you have a framing, you should be having a reference of it, and you should be, of course, giving the formatting option. So it has to match the criteria of your prompt. It has to pass through a proper natural language processing and the computer vision. So all these three combines, and there the generative AI comes out of it. It can create the exact need of yours. But of course, in the background, there are so many of models are running to give you the exact result, the best matched result. If you use Gemini, sometimes they used to give you some sort of a references. This answer is correct, or you want to just want to get some other results also. Like, it used to give you some sort of a top five results kind of thing. Where ChatGPT, in the GPT-4, it will give you one answer, will be kind of accurately they'll be giving it. But again, the answers we never know, is that really accurate, or is that answer which is not at all proper. But most of the cases it would be matching for sure 60% to 70%. Some of the cases it will be matched fully. Some of the cases, if you're not giving proper prompt, it may not give answers properly to you. This is how the entire world of generative AI works. Now I talked about NLP. So here is it's a natural language processing. It's a branch of artificial intelligence. It is a technique like what people are actually speaking, because it is not always in a form of a text. You have already used Alexa, you might have already used Siri. That is in a form of a speaking. So it is also doing the same thing. It is basically understanding your voice. It is understanding your voice and what the exact context that you're talking about. It is breaking down your word properly, and it is also having an ability to listen and to ability to talk. So this is how NLP works, and based on the need, it generally answers you back. The responses will come based on that. Now these are the latest like large language models, which is playing kind of a game changer in the current market. So most of us have used ChatGPT. Meta also have used. Palm might not be used by everyone. So these are the also language models where okay, people may ask me like how you're training those models. You said about language large language models and language models. How it is getting trained? By which language you train this model? There are options are available. You can learn or you can train the models by using Python. There is a programming language and it works to train your model and to create a data intelligence out of it. So there is some different topic and different classes. It's all together for how to train and how basically create your language model in a codified mode. That will not go definitely here. Now coming to the context of SAP's generative AI, which is Joule. Now you need to understand one thing, like why it is required for SAP to launch this product. SAP has launched this product for a reason. As I said initially, that everybody in terms of individuals, in terms of the companies, they're in a race to understand the fundamentals of generative AI and how they can build a product out of it, or providing a service out of it that can create value to the audiences who are going to use this. The Joule is one of the output of SAP's innovation. They're also using like how ChatGPT works, but their corpus is more limited or to the technology what SAP is selling. SAP, if is a platform where like they're providing SAP BTP. By using SAP BTP, you can create multiple applications. It may be a Fiori application. It may be a like automation for your workflows. It may be kind of an ABAP code. It may be a different form of an application development for Fiori. It may be a CAPM application. It may be a Fiori freestyle application. It may be a Fiori element based application. It may be a mobile application development. So these are the broad areas where SAP already provided solutions. Like to develop an automation, SAP provides SAP Build Process Automation. To develop mobile application, SAP provides mobile cards, MDK, SAP Build Apps. Now to generate like CAPM based application, SAP has provided Business Application Studio as a service. No worries, whoever who don't know about these terms, will go to that particular phase where we'll show you all these particular services, how it is equipped inside the BTP. But I'm telling, SAP already provided those solutions. But why Joule? What Joule is doing, it is trying to enhance the productivity of the person who is using that product. Let's say Mr. X, he doesn't know anything about BTP, and suddenly he got into this BTP zone. Somebody asked, "Hey, create a Fury application or create a CAPM based application with this particular use case, or create a mobile application, or create an automation with this particular scenario." What you will do? Of course, you required a sort of training, understanding the things, understanding the layer of the BTP, understanding the subsequent process to build this. But where Joule can help you, it will act as a digital assistance for you. Like how you're going to chat GPT, hey, draft an email for my manager to apply for a sick leave. Nowadays, nobody is writing, right? They're going to chat GPT, copying it and giving it. Hey, rephrase the sentences and giving it down. Similarly, you can put your own prompt. Hey, boss, create a CAPM application in my business application studio with the scenario with this person will do that, this person will do that, create a data structure like that, like the relationship between this to this is this. You are creating a healthy prompt, and believe me, the Joule will create an application for you in your application development environment with the scenario that you have given. Now, it will create a basic application structure for you to take it to the next level, adding more implementations, adding more validations, doing the other operations. That you need to do a bit. Of course, everything that it will not give you, but for those doing those things, also you can ask, hey, write down a code in this application to do a get call to this particular service, or I want to post some data to my SAP backend system, write down the JavaScript code for that. What it will do, it will generate the code. The way how ChatGPT is generating, it will also generate. I'm not sure how many of you used the ChatGPT's integration with Visual Studio Code. You know, Visual Studio Code, they have given one integrator with OpenAI. In that, it can also write code for you. It can also, I mean, if you want to get, let's say somebody has written a code and they left the organization, you didn't get a proper KT. You are selecting the entire code and asking ChatGPT, please explain me each and every individual line of code. ChatGPT will do that. Similarly, Joule also can do that here. So it is, just understand, this is a digital assistant, like how, let's say, it is basically a collaboration between the generative AI and the normal day-to-day life application development process. That is where SAP is developed a platform called as SAP Build Code. I'll come to that. But before that, the Joule is a new exciting generative AI assistant that intelligently changes how we interact with SAP system applications developed. So it has the native language and chat capability, something like this. In the left hand side, you'll ask your question. Hey, do this. Please contain both positive and negative cases. You can completely do the application lifecycle management using this tool. You can create a cap service here. You can create logic out of it. You can create an user interface out of it. You can do a post call, get call like this, how you can see this example. So it can do more in detail, but there are some cases you may face some sort of an error. That error, you may take a help to Joule to fix it, but sometimes you have to fix by your own. So this as an kind of, what will I say? This is your friend, your buddy, you can say, for your application development. Now I know there are some persons have joined in this course who might not familiar with the application development process. Now what I'm trying to say, this particular this is one of the example where Joule can fit into for your application development, writing your logics, writing your application, building up your scenarios. Now, when I'll show you some of the examples, you will feel more comfortable. I know I can't train you in next 25 or 30 hours, like or 50 hours, a pro code developer. Of course, you are not expecting that to be trained also, but you should know the overall things, how it works, how basically the fundamentally Joule can fit into, how it can help a citizen developer to come and write some coding, the basic of coding, or a basic a citizen developer can, without writing a line of code, how they can generate an application. Or like a citizen developer, if they wanted to build a like build process automation, how Joule can help them to create and guide them, how basically the things will be fit into very easily. That is what is more about this course, so that you know the capability, you know the possibility, and you know how it can be generated by this generative AI feature. That's all about this Joule and the build code. When it comes to a build code, it is basically a platform where like where they are integrating Joule actually. So I don't know how many of you already used SAP Business Application Studio. If somebody already used, so if you see this photograph that I'm just showing it here, this is a photograph of a business application studio where Joule is added as one of the option in the left hand side. You see, this is the icon. So this icon you won't get it in your business application studio until you are subscribing to SAP Build Code. Once you subscribe to SAP Build Code, it will take you through here to develop applications. So that means Build Code is one of the feature additionally which can help you for application lifecycle management, optimizing for JavaScript and Java code for the developer, where they can come to the business application studio and build up their application. Okay, what are the key benefit it has? The key benefit it has on the build code, it provides you generative AI based coding development with the Joule Copilot. Tailored the SAP development process. It enhance the fusion development. Now we'll understand each and every individual topic in detail when we discuss about build code in detail. Like in our next session, when you talk about build code, where it fit into, how will you subscribe to build code, what is BTP, in that particular class, we'll start with like what is the basics of BTP, how BTP, why cloud concept came, and then why people will choose BTP. If they choose BTP, what BTP provides, like a basic overview of BTP first. How will you create your trial account? Inside the trial account, how will you create or subscribe to build code? Once you subscribe to build code, what are the feature it is providing, and what is basically the key benefits in detail on build code learning tomorrow's class. So it basically helps you to application development in a broad level, application development environment, Java for JavaScript, turnkey solutions, and generative AI based development. So what exactly it is trying to mean? If you are using build code, it will help you to develop application in a much efficient manner. It can provide you a much efficient code base, which can be standardized code, which can be a market standard code. Writing a code would be having so much of like based on the persona of the developer persona, the codes has been written. I may write down a code in 10 lines. You may be converting that code into 2 lines also. It ultimately does the same purpose, but there is a standard in the market. You need to follow that also, because if you are a developer, let's say if you're a developer, you are having a 10 years of experience, and if you're still writing a code like a fresher, that is not acceptable, right? But though your code also correct, and the code whatever is it generated by this one also correct. We are not saying the machine code always you can write it, because they sometimes do a better job, of course. But sometimes some cases you can also give some better output in terms of your coding. So here build code will help you to understand, and if you are still following the conventional method of writing some code, you can also get a flavor. No, I should change, and this is how the current market is writing code. Let's do that, because you may know that but you are not applying that. That can help you for your application development efficiency. When you're using Java, JavaScript, abap code, in that case also you can also take a help from SAP build code, because it's a generative AI based development. You have to give your prompt properly. It can give you the output like with the help of the generative AI. So once we show this in real, you'll be getting more like insights about all these things. The integration point of view, SAP build code is possible to integrate with SAP Build Apps, which is a platform SAP provided for a native mobile application and web application development. They also provide an integration where you can connect to SAP Build Process Automation. This is also a platform where you can build some sort of automations out of it. let's say if you want to build some workflow, you want to build some business rules, you want to build some automation, IRPA based things, where also SAP build code would be integrated. SAP Work Zone, which is nothing but a SAP business site. All these things may be a new term for most of you. Like if you don't know, then these are the services what SAP provides you. So that these services that you can use for different purposes, like as I said, build apps for mobile application development, build process automation for automation purposes, work zone for kind of hosting your application. It's kind of a Fury launchpad, you can say. Let's say it's a home page where you can host your application and give your users to use that particular link to like use the application. So it is having an integration right now like this three. We'll go and understand about all these things, all these particular services and how it can be integrated. A basic idea about it also will go through it. Then that's what we have planned on the generative AI overview section. Now I'll like to have some sort of a question. So if you have any sort of a doubt, then let's discuss what you can plan. Yeah. If you have any questions, you can go ahead.
Karthik, very nice presentation, Karthik. I would like to ask, can we generate ABAP code in Joule?
The talk is there in the town right now. It is not even what will I say? What I heard actually. The thing is already in plan, and it is published or not. It's I think not very much sure because RAP and ABAP programs are already in plan to come. What they have given CAPM they have given here right now. But that is definitely in plan actually. But I have
Eventually.
heard, yeah, it will be coming for sure.
Okay. Using the Joule, can we able to create app? It does everything like a purchase order, approval, like a workflow, everything can be integrated using Joule.
Now, what it does actually, I'll tell you. So it can create a skeleton of an application because you can't upload the entire FS as a prompt and to build generate an application. Of course, it's not possible at all. Now, the coming to the question, you can create a basic skeleton of application. I'll just break down your question into three parts. Let's say you want to build an application for, let's say, a purchase order, or creating a purchase order.
Yeah.
Now, when you say creating a purchase order, your company knows how many fields that you want to put in the header levels, what are the fields you want to put in the item levels, how does application look like it should be, how the application logic should, it's completely internal code. Now, coming to that, what Joule can help you with is it can help you to create a kind of a freestyle application in Fiori if you're choosing Fiori as an application front. Now, what it will do is you can ask to build a Fiori based application with a normal header and item level screen design with a table as an item, as a form, as a header. It will create the basic skeleton out of it. Now, what are the parameters or what are the values you want to keep it in your headers? What are the values you want to keep it in your items? Completely your call. You will make add that things also. Add these columns to this table. It can do it. But coming to the logic point of view, if you are putting some sort of a validations, if you want to do it, what Joule can help you, it can give you kind of a code snippet that can a developer can quickly do it and add that code inside the particular function they want to. Okay, but here you can't expect that by your one single prompt it will give you ultimate product. It will definitely not possible. But like how we are going to chat gpt to write some sort of a javascript code, write for this one, do a get call for this, do a get post call for this, do have some sort of javascript code to write an integration with salesforce, kind of that it can get an help. But up top of that, what it will do is it can understand your main prompt and create a certain type of applications. As I said, CAPM is one of them, Fiori Freestyle is one of them, Fiori element based application is another. They're coming slightly more in detail, but we never know what it comes next. But the thing is, as of now, the possibility point of view, it can create a skeleton, it can help you to create a kind of an application design, it will help you to write some javascript code. But ultimate the goal of the application has to be driven through the developers only.
Okay, thank you.
Hi Karthik, this is Ravi speaking.
Hey, hi.
Karthik, I have using the Joule from the last 2 weeks, yes, because as it comes into the areas, and what I realized that because I also build some build apps there itself, but most of the apps, no, it is a CAPM based framework, yeah. And as you also mentioned, but other than this, like I'm also a little bit worried about like that when I compare with ChatGPT with the Joule, yeah. I am not 100% sure that SAP is also going like into the other areas similar like cloud integration, like in the CPI something. If I have to write some programming logic there itself.
So CAPM is one of them. I had like this is of course is there, but top of that, see there is an integration as I showed in the last slide. They're also integrating with like SAP Build Process Automation. CPI they not yet came up with. So what inside that build process automation, what they're planning. So you can define, let's say, define your process. Let's say, as an example, as a buyer, I want to purchase some sort of a material from a firm, and I want to go through 3 levels of approval. If somebody like creating the order of rupees 1 lakh and above, it has to go for a submission of approval form with these parameters. Like they're giving a kind of a prompt like that, and it will generate the workflow for you. That is the integration point of view on the SAP build process automation.
Okay.
The build code, when you say, so the integration of Joule with build code is more into the SAP business application studio, where it has the capability to develop an application. It may be in a form of a CAPM based application. It may be a form of a fiori based application. It may be a form of a mobile based application. So now RAP they are coming. Now CAPM is already there. Now these are the possible options they have rightly given with Joule with build code. Now if you see the integration with other platforms, we have with build apps and work zone. We may get CPI also, you never know. But the possibility point of view, we will be hopeful for that. But here the CPI integration is not yet there as of now. But if you think out the integration point of view with Joule to other platforms, you can see there are some possible options where it can definitely reduces the human effort in terms of creating the own automations. So that can definitely going to be a game changer. I at least believe like. But answering to your questions in terms of the CPI logics or the other integration point of view, I think the tool has to be definitely evolved, and it will evolve for sure.
Karthik, another question, yes. Like I am also using the business app, the BTP. Do in my like the company account, yes. So it means that I have to subscribe this instance and subscription for the Joule.
So let's say, so there are two things. So you can create your own personal SAP BTP Fury, SAP BTP trial account. If you don't want to use your company's one, okay, you use your own one. You must be having a Gmail account or any of the mail account, not specifically Gmail, and you must be having a valid phone number. If you have that, then you can register yourself in your SAP BTP account, and then once you do that, you can jump into the trial account, and you'll be having it. The SAP build code should be available there. So I'll rather suggest to go with the trial account itself by your own like your email. That
So
will be really good actually.
Okay, it means that do I have to subscribe? No, I talking about the company account, yes, because I also have the company account, and where if I used where I have to use business case, yes.
Okay, in actual scenarios talking about.
Yes,
so,
because such that I can convince my business people that okay, we are using this Joule, yes, such that they can also see as a
okay.
as a feedback, yeah.
Let me tell you. So I'm going to a plan.
Generative AI.
I decided. I thought like I'll take you through tomorrow, but let me just show you. So this is the platform called SAP Discovery Center. This is a very important platform for most of the BTP persons, specifically for the program or the project managers. Like as you said just now, the question seems to be look like you need to know about build code, whether it is kind of a free version available for everyone to use, or do you need to subscribe, what are the subscription fees about it, what is the plan for it. Once you go to Discovery Center is a platform where you can search any specific services of SAP, whatever their of SAP is offering, and you can get to know more detail about it in terms of price, in terms of the roadmaps and everything. Let's say I'm going with SAP Build Code. Once I go inside the SAP Build Code, a specific service, I'll just click on SAP Build Code. I'll have an option to see the pricing here. Now, coming to your question here. Now, if you remove the standard one, sorry, if you have, there's only one. Okay. So this is how currently it is available. You can choose your company's region here, sub account, your companies. You can see where which all the regions is available right now here. What you can choose first of all is you can log into the account. Let's say I'm logging into the account. I have the BTP with this. Once I have logged in, similarly you can also log into your company's account, and then what you should do is you can see the currencies. You can change the currencies into a form of what exactly you need. Let's say I'm giving in a form of an American dollar, so US dollar, and I can see what they are giving it. Use the standard plan for productive development with pre-coding, pre-configured SAP services. And for the region that I have for this account, Euro Frankfurt, and these are the two accounts it has basically available right now in the AWS cloud. So you of course your sub account has to be any of this region. Then this is the amount it generally charge if you are actually using in your actual cases. Now if I click on plus to my estimator, what it will do, it will go to an estimator where I can see my overall budget for the month, where I can choose my provider here, and I can also choose the overall currency. The currency I've already changed it. Capacity unit, and here you can see this is the amount they're asking per month as of now, because as it is a very early stage of this particular platform, they are in a promotional phase, so it is not basically having money. But let me check it whether it is available in a free tier also. Let me just check. So this is how you can calculate any of the any of your service budget. I will take you through in tomorrow's class more in detail about this. So now if you see here, there's a subscription available. BTP subscription. If your company going with BTP subscription, this is the cost structure about it. Pay as you go. If they go with this is 1.40 USD, and in a trial account, it is a free one right now. So now, if your company they want to explore things, they can also use their trial account, you know, and they can also go to the trial account and they can subscribe to that and they can do it. And if they're having any of the subscription, these are the like fees they need to bear on this capacity units.
So, Karthik, one question here. If my system is already connected, like if I subscribe this one and my system is already connected to the cloud connector, yes. So you think that if I use the Joule, it can predict the model from my S/4HANA system?
So see, first of all, Joule will not predict any of your like landscape things. What it can do, because Joule is not the language model. Like if now, if you think, let's say now, let me just give you in this way. Let's say you have ChatGPT. Okay. Now let's say that ChatGPT small box, if you fit into kind of a platform inside your development box. Now you are asking more queries and it is doing for you. Now coming to breaking down your questions, cloud connector, where it comes to picture, of course you have already connected. Cloud connector means you've already touched your SAP backend systems on your cloud. Now, of course, all the services you have that will be exposed to your SAP BTP right now. Joule can find out those services. What are the services that you have it? You can write down some code using those services. If you write some code, hey service, in the back in your let's say in your backend, which is basically, let's say, your on-premise system. I'm giving an example. If you written some OData services, okay, and the OData service is written in your on-premise system, and that OData service is now rightly available in your application studio, business application studio, via cloud connector, because you have connected and exposed your on-premise system. Now all the list of services are available. You can't write a command, hey, go to this service and write some new additional code, or check the code vulnerability, whatever is there for that particular service in my system. You can't do that. Are you getting my point? Because yeah, so what you can do, you can write, hey, use this service, create a post call to post some sales data. Are you getting my point? So this is how it can do. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Karthik.
Yeah. So Joule can expedite SAP development by directly. Yeah, it can do. It can do. We often hear SAP build, SAP process, SAP build code. What the difference of them? We know process, SAP process a little workflow, but you can answer in short. Yeah. So I'll tell you. I specifically kept this is one of the topic of discussion. But anyway, let me just tell you. SAP BTP is one umbrella. Okay. Now SAP BTP, let me just, I think there should be a diagram that I can just show you in a very short time. Key pillars of SAP BTP that can help you to get more in detail. See this. My friend has given a very good diagram in the LinkedIn. So you can see here. This is SAP BTP. This is SAP BTP is SAP Business Technology Platform. Okay, as we have some time, we'll just explain the basics of BTP. So everybody is interested more into that. Let's talk about that. But before going to discuss this, let me just take through some of the questions related to this. Then I'll come to the question. How machine predicts the model. How machine predicts the model. Machine predicts the model, Ravi, like based on the data that you trained into that model. Like I'll give an example. As I said, no, some of the cases you are feeding a big chunk of data inside the model, and you are doing this exercise, truncating some of the some sections of your particular portion of your text, and trying to like asking the machine to predict. Now your question here, how it is predicting. Now there is a program language in Python. There is a module is there called a sentence transformer, or there are some other LLM models are there where what it can do, it can break down your entire text into some vectors, and it's stored inside some sort of a vectors matrix. And whenever you are writing the code in Python, that the fundamentals of that particular language model to predict the next sentence. This is one task that you're saying. Prediction of the next sentence is one of the tasks of your language model. Now you are writing the code such a way, whatever the, let's say, you are having a book, the entire book text you have feed into that model as an input. And what you are expecting is, whenever somebody gives some sort of a word or a sentence, you are expecting the next word to predict here. Now this is not very easy job to do in one particular day. Now how it is fundamentally working is, the entire book, when you are storing into that model, it is converting into a vector form of data. Vector matrix is usually called, and it is basically providing the it is storing that particular vector matrix in a format. Whenever you again rewrite some of the sentence, it is always matching with the particular the corpus, and is providing the best possible matches and giving you the result. So this is how. But predictions, the machine, the how it predicts, that basically the coding that basically you write in the Python language. Do we need to know Python for a full stack BTP? Python will be covered here. No, Python won't be covered here. I'm giving an example like how the machine learning should be written, and it is not very necessary to have a BTP full stack development like skill set. Python is something out of the box where it can help server side coding. But if you know Python, it will help to write some sort of an application in BTP, which may be helpful for you, but it is not related to the full stack development at all. Joule is developed with SAP's own LLM models. Uh, they have created, of course, I'll not say it is not, but they have taken the existing models also. But the prompt or the prompt they set to answer the questions are more into their own specific things. So the but answering to your questions, it should be yes. If they're using their own LLMs, where based on that, it is basically calling. Whenever you're asking any query, it is hitting to their LLMs only and find out the right prompt, and it is giving the answer based on that. If it is a generic question, it is leaving it to the original like OpenAI, and if it is not, then it is going to their exact result whatever they have mapped for. What's about the ABAP program? I already told. GitHub Copilot capability difference from Joule Copilot. Okay, I'm not very much sure. I'm sorry. GitHub Copilot capability difference from the Joule Copilot. I have not used GitHub Copilot. I might be definitely check this and I'll come back to this question. I'll take a note of this. So let me application development feature advantages using directly Joule Copilot and SAP Build Code remain same, or any difference between using Build Code and Joule Copilot for application development? Application development features or advantages using it is same because you will be using so build code, and it's nothing but they have given the platform name as build code, but who is doing all the things is basically the Joule. The bot or the platform bot, which is basically the generative AI assistant, they have given the name as Joule, but ultimately you'll be doing in build code only, so it will be remain same. Difference between foundation model and LLM. Okay, so how will I answer this question? So I'll just see when it comes to a foundation models. So it basically how will I say? Yeah, so you can say like foundation model is it includes your large language models, self-supervised learning, predefined like predefined learning, generalized learning, adaptability learning. So all these things are already in between this. So the big things you can say, it's basically called as a foundation model. Now if you talk about this large language model, it's one of the one of the part of it. Like if you have basically, if I try to give an example, it will be much easier to understand. So you are having let's say you are having some sort of a data. It may be in a form of a text or an image or a speech that you are going to train to the foundation model. Now what it will give it will give you kind of a sentiment analysis out of it, the image captions probably for that particular image. It may be a text generation feature for the text that you have given as an input. So it is a foundation model is something which in a broad thing. LLM is one of that. Are you getting my point? So this is how it is. So Joule can expedite. Okay, that I say already said. We often hear about SAP Build. That I'm going to answer right now. I have created a BTP account. Choose Azure Singapore. I cannot go further to access build code. You need to change AWS to US. Yes, you need to. How to go? Okay, I'll show you. So Python for the full security developer, or Python will be covered here. Also, could you help a BTP and account? That I'll go into. Now let me. I understood the overall questions on it. Now let me just take you through some interesting fact on BTP. So now assume. Let me take you through in a very basic understanding of BTP. Then it can make more sense. First of all, we should know why BTP. Now, let's say this is an user. This user or Mr. X, he wants to open a company or he wants to open a business, and what he is doing is, if he wants to open a business, he's having two options. Either one, it can set up his own on-premise system where he will be having his own software. He should be having his own hardware, right? He will be having his own infrastructure, right? So he can build up his own infrastructure, own software, own hardware, and invest a huge amount of money, and it can set up his own farm. Is one option. And of course, if he wants to set up that particular setup, hardware, software, infrastructure, he has to have a good amount of money to start his business. But let's assume Mr. X doesn't have that much of money, and neither he doesn't interested to invest that much of money for his business, because he is not very much sure that whether it will be really clicked or not. Now there is another option available. There is something called as renting resources. What is called renting resources? Now renting resources is something you can go to a big firm who is already doing a cloud business like an AWS, and you can ask, hey boss, I want to start up a new company. I need a set of hardware, and I need an infrastructure software as a rent so that I can host my applications on your cloud and I'll be paying rent out of it. In this case, the amount of money it is required, it should be less than the amount you were going to spend here. So that is called as cloud computing. You are computing your resources on somebody's cloud as a renting resource. Now, if you think you're going to run the business for 10 years. Now, if you run this business for 10 years, the amount of money you will be paying here as a rent would be huge if you compare with setting up your on-premise system, because they'll be charging monthly or a yearly or a quarterly based on their sales models. So if you think this renting resource or the cloud computing model is not very friendly when it comes to a big long-term process, but if it is planning for 1 year, 2 year, you are about to get a good amount of money and start investing your own on-premise system, then you can go for this but short-term method by renting resources and hosting your application. So this is why the concept of cloud is very much important, and that's why the cloud is basically taking into place. Now, when it comes to SAP BTP, similarly, SAP BTP, SAP Business Technology Platform, one of the cloud offering by SAP. Now, what are the other offerings models available that you should know? Now, let me just tell you other detail about what are the cloud offerings are available. Let me try to give an example to you first. Let's say here is Mr. X. That person wants to he's a traveler. Let's say he wants to travel somewhere, and then he just planned to stay somewhere for a staycation. He's having option a hotel. He's having an option to stay in a kind of a furnished flat, or he wants to stay in an unfurnished flat for 1 month. Now, if you take an example of these three, in these three cases, in the first cases you will be getting a nice everything. You will be having a good bed. You'll be having the sofa. You'll be having mirrors, everything in place. Like you will be having some sort of a person who can serve you, who can help you to do your room cleaning, room servicing, everything will be available. For a furnished flat, you'll be getting kind of a sofa, bed, TV, all these things should be available. AC, all these things should be available. Unfurnished flat, you won't be having anything. Now, if this person, Mr. X, plan to choose to stay in hotel, he'll be getting all the amenities along with a very good experiences, and he has to spend, let's say, I'm giving an example, per day wise, he need to spend some amount. So as an example, 1000 USD he is spending per week, let's say, or per month, let's say. Same amount, like if you the amount, if you think in a furnished flat, he may be spending near about 600 USD. Now if you think the unfurnished flat, he may be spending near about 100 USD. Now, coming to the feature point of view, if you compare, they're providing everything as a service to you. That I have everything ready-madely available, go and use that. This is a hotel. In a technical term of the cloud offering, this is called as SaaS, software as a service. So my service is available. You use this service as in your system. You'll fit this particular thing in your system. Use it. Let's say your company may be using somebody's payroll system, somebody's so you'll be using some SAP's default software. Maybe it may be anything. Now, furnished flat, what they are saying, hey boss, in this furnished flat, we'll be giving you the flat like the hardware plus software. You build your own solution and deploy it. I don't care about what you are going to do, but I'll give you the infrastructure, hardware and software. You build up your things and you just deploy your things inside that, which is called as PaaS, platform as a service. And the last one, which is basically unfurnished flat, they've only given the house, nothing else is there. So they've only given the hardware. There is no software, nothing is there inside that. You have to build up your own. This is called infrastructure as a service, IaaS. Now, based on your need, you will be investing the money to choose which cycle or which particular model that or which particular cloud offering that you're going to choose. Similarly, how Mr. X will plan based on his needs, based on his budget, he'll go to enable services. Coming into platform as a service, SAP BTP is coming and falling under this platform as a service offering. They're giving you a hardware and software, so your company can host application. The company can manage your application, run your application. Based on the demand, they can excel the application. So they're getting a platform as a service as a BTP offering. Okay. Now this is the basic fundamentals of any cloud computing system. And this is the basic cloud offering options that generally people provides to you. Now coming to BTP, it's an umbrella where the 5 like key pillars are available: application development, automation, integration, data and analytics, and AI. In the application development, there are so many services SAP provides. Services in the sense, let's say you want to build an application in Fiori. SAP is providing a service called as SAP Business Application Studio, where you can develop the Fiori application. Similarly, for application development cycle, where low code, no code is one of the category. Under the category, SAP Build Apps is coming into picture. Pro code tools, where SAP Business Application Studio is coming into picture. DevOps tool, runtime. So these are the services which falls under this category of application development. So in this category, SAP Build Apps, which generally use for application development for mobile devices without writing a single line of code. drag and drop feature is available. That's why low code, no code options it is given for SAP Build Apps. Automation, SAP Build Process Automation, where you can create and define your own workflows, where you can write your workflows, where you can write your business rules, where you can create your own iRPA bot. All these things are coming under this automation sector, where all the services are available. Integration. In this integration, you'll be integrating to your systems, to other third-party systems or your on-premise system using CPI. So SAP Integration Suite, SAP Integration Suite with Advanced Event Mesh, SAP Business App Accelerator Hub, all these things are services which falling under the category of integration. Data and analytics. Where it comes to data analytics, SAP provides some services like SAP HANA Cloud, SAP Analytics Cloud, SAP DataSphere, Master Data Governance. These are the services are SAP putting under this category. AI, SAP AI Core, AI Launchpad, SAP AI Business Services. Now Build Code also came into picture. Joule. All these things are part of this AI tool and AI platform. Joule is not available as a service properly right now for everyone. Build Code is available. So we'll talk about Build Code, let's say. So in the AI category, SAP Build Code also will be going to add here. So these are the 5 broad categories. Under the categories, different services are available, where SAP is giving an offering to the different customers, different end users to use that. Now, I was talking about SAP Discovery Center. It is the platform where you can have a look each and every individual service in a detail. Like if you search for SAP Build Apps, you will get more information about Build Apps under the service tab. Build Apps, how much money it is required to subscribe this in your actual account. By the way, it is available in free tier account. So your company, if they wanted to do use this one for practice purpose, they need not to pay money. They can go to their free tier account and they can subscribe to that. If you are using a free trial account, in the free trial account also SAP Build Apps is available as a service. Now this is how the platform looks like. You can see some of the like photographs they have attached here. You can have a look of those things, how you can develop by dragging and dropping this application development. You can also go to the related missions and you can start developing some of the application following the steps they have given here. You can find out the customer stories about the service. You can also come to the pricing and see the amount that you need to pay when you're doing for an actual application development for your client. You can plan for a roadmap. You can think and just get through what is coming in the next quarter, next to next quarter, and quarter 4. All these things are having here. See this here. AI integration. This is actually going to launch with SAP Digital Assistant Joule in Q4 2024. This is where they are coming and introducing SAP Joule. So you can see here the roadmap of every individual services, and you can go and get more detail about it. And as a project manager, the very most crucial job, because when you ask a developer, hey, I want to, the client is expecting to have this kind of feature, the developer will say, hey, yes sir, you can do it, we will be using these other services, and it can be completed. But the project managers always faces the pain, hey, you need to come up with the budget. And when it comes to a budget, if you are a BTP person and if you want to get a budget for your BTP, then this tool you have to bookmark right now. This is the tool where you have to come find out the services after discussing about. If you're a technical manager, you know the services. If you're not from a very technical person, you can discuss with your team what are the services you're going to approach, or what are the services are really required to build the solution. Find out the services here and go to your estimator. Inside the estimator, go and add individual services here. You can create a new estimate based on the license your company is holding. Let's say somebody is going with SAP like CPA licensing, they'll go inside that, and what they will do, they'll add the services. Let's say somebody is saying, I want to build a mobile application, so build apps is required. So you can select Build Apps. So you can choose which plan the company is going to. So they'll be using a standard plan. Which region your sub account is. How many users going to use this application? How many users is going to develop the application? All these things you need to give it, and it will ultimately give you the difference in price ranges, and you can add that particular price range to your estimator based on the need that you have. You can see this is how it is giving it for a month. For all the subscriptions for active users of 1, up to 500 is 11, and the tenant price is 1,000 euro. You want to change the estimate. I told you, if you want to change the calculator, you can change the calculator any here. Where is the option they've given? Go to the estimator here and give the currency here as USD, and monthly wise or yearly wise you want to do it, you can give it and set this here, and you can get to know about the prices that you want to pay, and you can able to build your own budget. And once you build the budget, this budget can be shared via a link or an email ID that you want to give it to. It will send an email to that particular person. This is how you can build up your own budget for the services that you want to go with. Now coming back to the point I left, like these are the services. These services are available here to see more in detail. Now a person, a very new to BTP, how they will open their account in SAP BTP. So let me show you that. So to open their account, what they need to do it, SAP BTP cockpit. Just type that normally. If you type SAP BTP cockpit, you'll come to a platform or you come to a like page where SAP BTP overview section is there. You go here, and what you will do is, so you have to register yourself by the detail, the basic informations about yourself it will ask for. There's an option directly sign in here. If you are new to it, there's an option to register here. Click on register. Once you click on register, now coming back again, one small point here. If you go to home page, if you go to SAP build code, go to the service of SAP build code, you can get to know this particular service is available, or what are the origins is available right now. That's very important to know right now. Is let me go to the pricings of this. It is showing Europe and US East right now. Let me check it whether it is available for other origins. Wait a second. What are the regions? The build code of SAP BTP available. Generally, when they have given these two, that means that two only, but let me check to be sure. Okay, so now the trial version of SAP build code currently available in US 10th region. So that means they are correct what they are showing it here. So Euro, Frankfurt and US East. This is where they are currently offering it. Now we'll check it. Whoever is facing issue from the Singapore one, we'll check. Let me complete that first. So once you come to SAP BTP register section, you can give your business email address. I may be already having it. So I don't think so. It will make more sense here. So here you can give your first name, company name, department, phone number, country. Take this one and click on submit. Give a relationship with SAP, something you give it. Now, but most important thing here is you have to give your phone number, and the phone number has to be correct, because if you're not using this trial account from a very long time, it will validate via this phone number by sending an OTP. So make sure that you remember the phone number that you've given it here. And then once you click on submit, it will take you through, it will basically send an email to the email address that you've given to activate your account, to verify and activate your account. Once you do so, then you will come back here to sign in. So this is the quick steps generally to be followed to create your free trial account. And once you do that, you will be sign into here. Once you sign into here, it will ask for some sort of what to say, universal code or some sort of some digits you need to just make it come. Sometimes they used to give some more on more authentication page in terms of putting some capture, and you have to just place all those things and you need to come and give the universal ID, and then you should go inside this particular your actual account. Okay, so my account has been long back created one. That's what they are saying. They're saying your account has been upgraded to a feature set B, where if you see, like I have tried to log in, I didn't ask for the universal ID. So they are saying you have to upgrade things to set feature B, where it will be always going through kind of a universal ID concept. So now what they're saying, we'll be coming to this page. Now this is your home page. In this home page, you need to click on this trial home. Once you click on this trial home, it will come to this particular screen where welcome to SAP BTP trial. You need to click go to your trial account. Now, this is a global account SAP has assigned you as trial. This is your information about yourself. You can find your settings and everything. The left hand side are having some sort of an options. This is something called as a sub account. Now that this is your main global account and this is sub account. Now I'll tell you just a basic thing about this concept. This is called a structure of BTP. You will be having, if your company or if you are taking a SAP BTP account, you'll be assigned one global account. The global account can create multiple sub accounts. Sub accounts may be based on the need, or let's say let's say Mr. X is the BTP head. Now YZ are two person working under Mr. X. One represents a DevOps team, another one represents integration team. Now let's say not integration team, let's say one on and basically from the uh, okay, let's integration team. Now DevOps teams, that team is owned by Mr. Y and Z would be owning that the space called as integration. Mr. Y is having so many persons under him. Mr. Z also having so many persons under him as a team. Now, what they are requesting to Mr. X, hey boss, I wanted to have two sub accounts, one for my DevOps, one for the integration person for Mr. Z. What he can do, he can create multiple sub accounts like this. Each sub account, once you go inside the sub account, each sub account is having a list of services. The services can be viewed from the marketplace. You can see the list of services I was talking about. All things are available as a service here, like build apps, build code, build process automation, work zone, business application studio, theme designer. All these things are available as a service. What you can do, based on the service that you need, you can come here and you can subscribe to this service. As I have already subscribed to build app, build code, that's what is giving you an option to go to application. Okay, now coming back, while creating a new sub account, it's very important to choose what is the region it belongs to. Now if the person who has faced the issue for Singapore, just check whether you are getting this option or not, UAssist VA, while creating a sub. If you are not getting this option, then it's a bit problem actually. If you are getting only this, then it's a problem. You should get this. Once you're getting this, you select UAssist only, because it is only available, build code is available under this particular region, right? So you have to choose the region, and based on the region, you have to you'll be getting all the offerings what SAP has given. Like, everything is not available for every region. So some sort of a feature, some sort of a application or services are available for a specific region. Okay, so it's very important to choose what region that you are basically giving. It is, regions are nothing but each region. It represents the geographical location. Like for an example, Europe, that it is having, you can see US East. So where the applications, the data, all the services are hosted for that region. So that's what it is very much important to focus on the region. Okay. So as I said, all the features, all the services may not be exposed to all regions. So you can't select any sub account simply like that, because the cost also varies based on the region, based on the things. Okay. So if these regions, see how now you'll be asking me how these regions are provided. So regions are provided either by the SAP or by the infrastructure as a service partners like the Amazon Web Services, AWS, Microsoft Azure, because these are nothing but your infrastructure as a cloud partners. They are only providing these infrastructures. It's AWS, Microsoft Azure, either Ariba Cloud or Google Cloud. So these things are basically operates like they what are the regions they wanted to give it. They're only offering those things. It is not in control always with SAP. Once you give the name of the sub account and give the parent name of the parent name is nothing but your global account, and you'll be creating a new sub account here. Once you create a new sub account, this is your sub account, how it looks like. Now, as I said, let's say if somebody wants to subscribe to any service, how they'll subscribe. Let's say somebody wants to subscribe uh, build process automation. Somebody wants to subscribe to it. So as I already subscribed build code, I'll not show you right now. If somebody is not done that, you can follow the steps given, but I'll show you overall how to do it. You can click on this SAP Build Process Automation service. There's an option to create. Click on create here. Once you click on create, choose the plan here. You can choose a plan as a subscription one for free. And once you create that, you'll be able to view subscription. Once you take the subscription, that particular service would be available in your instance and subscription. Now, people will be asking question, how will you choose what subscription to select here? Now, I'll go build apps. There's one more like service. If I go and choose to select the plan, see, I have only available as a free plan. I don't have any other plans available. Now, to see that what is available is a free, what is available as a different plan, there is a options available, something called as entitlements. If you go to service assignments, inside the entitlements, you can select the service. Let's say build code. You can see it is available for the sub account as a free plan only, and that belongs to this particular region. If you go for searching with build process automation, this is another service which is also available as a free plan to this particular account. So whenever you open your own company's account, you will get things available here. So here what you can choose it, like you can go to the entity assignment section, go to trial account. the sub account you have. Here you can see here, if you go to entitlement and entity assignments, here you can see for that particular sub account, any specific service, how many quotas are remaining available. Like as an example, let's say I've given build sub account assignment 1 unit, so there is 0 unit available. Build process automation, 1 shared unit is available. What does that mean is this quota is shared across all sub account that consumes this service in this global account. That means it is available, it is freely available. So what you can do, 1 shared unit, you can do it in every sub account. Nobody will be like, if you have 2 sub accounts, you can subscribe to this. If you have only 1 unit, you can subscribe to do, like this, you are having 10 sub accounts under your global account. You can't go and subscribe to it because you already, your quota is not that much. It's a limited quota edition. These things are not limited quota. So that's how it basically build. Like you can always come here and see how many quotas are given to your account in your paid account or your free account. Based on that, you can subscribe to your services. Like, but if you're in a trial account, nothing to worry. Nobody is going to asking you money for that. You can do whatever you want to do it, but you have to be a bit careful when it comes to your actual company's account. So make sure that you are checking the entitlements, the region and the price it belongs to the services. So once you subscribe the services, you have to go to the sub account and instance and subscription section. You'll be able to get the instances and subscriptions in this particular area. So my build process automation is still in the creating mode. But make sure one thing, so BTP is one of the platform where if you see the left hand side is very interesting. This is the overview section. Overview section gives you option to understand the overall views of your sub account. The sub account name is this, sub account ID is this, sub account tenant is this, sub account provider is this, region is this, environment is a multi environment created by this on this date, and it also create a Cloud Foundry environment. What is a Cloud Foundry environment? Now coming back to an understanding, when people talk about Cloud Foundry runtime and all those things, so what I said here in this diagram, I explained about SAP BTP is nothing but is a PaaS offering, platform as a service. So they're offering hardware along with the software. Means, let's say you are building a when a what is a platform called? Platform called when you have an infrastructure, something like this. Now, if you see here, this particular section, let's say I'm saying here my all hardwares are in place. Okay, like it's a big hardware where I'm having, let's say 1 terabyte of hard disk. Let's say I am having 100 GB of RAM. Okay, so this is how so small. So all your infra, your hard drives are there, like all your hardwares are there. Now similarly here in this section also you're having a full of drives, like where you're having the hardware sections here, octa core, like 10 core CPU, all these things are there. Now to manage those hardwares, you also have a software in place just connecting to these hardwares. This is nothing but called as OS, operating system. Now this is the area called as hardware section, and this is the section called software section. Now a complete system, it can be only called when you are having the hardware, and to manage those hardware you are having a required softwares in place. Now your Kaima environment or a Cloud Foundry environment, whatever people are talking about, CF or Kaima, are nothing but the operating system acting as a software to manage those hardwares. Okay. Now that's why when somebody just taken a trial account, and that trial account gives you a feasibility to host application. Why you taken that trial account in cloud? Because you want to deploy some application in cloud. You want to run some application in cloud. You want to host some application in cloud. Let's, as an example, we have built a sales application. A sales application you have given when you have deployed into this particular cloud. How? Where in cloud? Let's say this is the big sort of SAP system. Under the system, they have given a small chunk as your trial account. This is a place where you are holding your application, hosting your application. This is a small chunk, which a capability of maybe, let's say, it may be a 4 GB of storage, 4 GB of storage, and let's say some small spaces of RAM. Let's say, let's 10 GB RAM. Now they have allocated a small space for you, this small space in your trial account or in your company's account, let's say up to like this. Similarly, see, they are having a huge hardware sections, so they're assigning a small sections to you so that you can deploy your own application in their cloud. Now, those applications are managing by this Kaima or the Cloud Foundry. Now what exactly is happening, I'm building a sales application and I'm deploying this application under this particular storage which comes under here. Now my initial plan to roll out this application to 50 users to have a trial run whether the application is really going to create a value out of it or not. So what you have given, you have assigned out of 4 GB RAM and 10 GB RAM and 4 GB of hard disk. You have assigned some sort of a memory to that particular application. Let's say out of that you have assigned 128 MB you have assigned as a storage for that application. Okay. Now you are getting it like, so 128 MB you have assigned this one. So now you are expecting that this application, it was run really well, and you got a request that to roll out this application to 500 users in a single day. If your application is hosted on premise, you have to check and take care of your like memory, how you can roll out, how you can scale this one. But in cloud it is very easy. What you can do, instantly you can assign out of 128, you can change and you can make it as 1024 MB. So to like, this is how this is how cloud works and how fast it is you can move the thing changes. So if you want to scale your application, you want to take a decision for a horizontal scale or vertical scale. Both the scalings are very, very easy. Horizontal scale means the number of users you want to give it. Vertical scale means the number of users you want to give it, and horizontal scale means the setup that you are going to give it. So this, both the scaling is very, very important and very, very easy for cloud, but which is not very easy for on-premises. Okay, so this is how people use generally cloud for some small applications which they wanted to host is there and run it there. So this is how basically an application works in your Cloud Foundry section. So now coming back, this is why the trial account is having a Cloud Foundry environment, which is the software is running. All the application will be managed by Cloud Foundry. Okay. Now, if you left hand side, if you see, if you are a BTP architect, you should know all these things. Service sections about enrolling a new service and going to the service via the instances. Cloud Foundry is the section where you can see your space quota. How much, as I said just now, as an example, if you want to assign more quota to that application, you can assign more quotas to the application. And whenever you deploy the application, it will be deployed under the spaces. You can manage your organizational member who will be accessing as a developer role, who will be accessing as a manager role for that particular Cloud Foundry. You can manage it from here, called as organizational member. This area you can add multiple members to it. HTML5 application, if somebody deployed the application as an HTML5 application from Business Application Studio, it would be available here. Connectivity. If somebody wants to connect to their backend systems, they can create a destination here. Destination is a term which called to consume your backend systems. Now, in a form of a destination, where you have to give the application the destination name, the type, description, URL, proxy type, all those things will come into picture. And those things should be importantly giving if all the mandatory fields to be filled here to create a destination. I'll show you this one when you'll be connecting to our on-premise system. Now, Cloud Connector is something which is must required when you are going to connect your on-premise system from cloud. So I have already connected one Cloud Connector. I'll show you like how we'll be connecting our Cloud Connectors, how we'll be like configuring or connecting our on-premise system, what ZAPYard team will be giving it to you guys. How will you connect that to your BTP sub accounts, and how will you get expose all the service? Security section, it is managed by the security person of the BTP security team, but as architect, you should know everything here. In this section, you can see the list of users are available, and the list of users, based on the users, what are the roles are assigned to the users. You can see all the role collections assigned to the users. You can assign new role collections also. I can assign the role collection, search the role collection here, and I can assign the role collections like this to the user. You can delete the users also if you would not like to have that user anymore. Role collections and roles. So role collection is a combination of multiple roles. 10 roles can be created a role collection. One role can be created one role collection. So its role collections is a collection of roles. The roles basically comes for different services. Each services, once you activate, it comes out with so many roles. Those roles is very, very important for you to assign to your user ID, or the user IDs for your team. Otherwise, they won't be able to access that service. So some companies holding this particular security section by their own internal security team. Some companies they're actually managing by a BTP administrator. Some persons it is open for everyone. So it's all about assigning the roles to the users. Trust configuration is a very, very important point, and this comes to the basis team. Like a basis team and a collab with a security person, they are configuring the trust here. The default identity provider is nothing but your SAP BTP user ID password. Let's say you are building an application today and deploying into BTP. Now, once somebody opens the application, what it will happen? It will go to the BTP login page to give the user ID password. But you can't expect your end customer to create BTP account, right? That is not at all like possible. Why they will create their BTP account? What they will do with the BTP account? So that's why this trust configuration is going to picture. So this trust configuration, what it helps, let's say your company has planned, they are going to build a BTP product. That BTP product will be distributed to the users with a single sign-on capability. Once they open the application, it will take them through the Office 365 logon page, or it will be acting as a single sign-on. So in that case, you have to configure a new trust configuration using SAML. There is one more also trust available, something called as IaaS. IaaS is nothing but your one of the IDP, which is nothing but like that IDP is nothing but identity provider. So IaaS is one of the options SAP is provided. Now you'll be asking me a question: why IaaS is there in is an option? Now I told you just now about SAML, like single sign-on. Now if you want to roll out your application to some of your customer who doesn't have your Office email ID, and they will never be having their Office email ID, they're third-party customers, and you want them also to use this application, then you can't go for the SAML at all, right? You have to come, or either you can't go and ask them to create a BTP sub account details. They can't do it. They'll not do it. So SAP also given one more option called as IAS. Integration identity authentication, IAS, I think authentication service, identity authentication service, the full form of IAS. Identity authentication service means the identity of the person who is logging into the application. That identity, it will be exposed to your system so that you can build up some sort of an principal propagation and all those things. We'll come to that later when you're discussing about the cloud connector setup. That day we'll discuss about this IAS and all those things. How to set up this. Those things document also I'll share. No worries. But this thing has to be done by your basis team and with the help of a security team and the active directory team. Active directory team for the SAML. IAS only security team is enough with the basis team. So this is how this trust configuration is going to play a very major role, because when you're distributing your application, this trust is very, very important. Either a SAML based trust or IAS based trust, based on the use case, based on your need, you'll be choosing that. There's a section called usage analytics, where you can see as a manager how my folks are basically managing this particular trial account, what is the usage for this particular account, how many calls it generally happened for the destination. All these things you can see it in overall perspective, and you can just see in a specific period also. So this is basic overview about SAP BTP on in detail. We are not going to any specific service right now. We'll go to the services. I don't want to give so much of things in one single class. We'll go one step down by each class. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead now. So how can you access the recordings of the session? So the recordings, what they will do is you'll be having like ZAPcademy website. Link could be shared by end of this session within 1.5 hour. What they will do is they will download this recording and they'll expose that recording into a form of a YouTube video, and the link would be given to all of you in the ZAPcademy like portal, where you can like access this particular recording lifetime. Also, the PPT that I have taken through, I also upload that PPT there. You can also access that. If you would like to change it, anything, you can also change it. What is the underlying? Yeah.
Yeah, this is Ritika. So I just
Yeah.
was thinking the whole thing of the, but for me I couldn't see the build code under AW, like the nearest cloud I had it at like Singapore. Under Singapore I have registered. So in that I couldn't see the SAP build code.
I think Singapore it won't be there actually.
So
Can
I
you
have
just
to
check it?
change it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to just delete the sub account, create a new sub account with the US
Okay.
list. So waiting for SAP access. I think they'll provide you by SAP access is not required right now, but I think before the next week they'll provide you. How will be okay? Okay, what is underlying DB for BTP? Is HANA only? No. Underlying DBs there are so many. You have see based on the SAP has initially given HANA Cloud. HANA Cloud is still there. SAP also added a few more DB. If you heard about Redis database, it is having a Postgres database. Those are the DBs also available as a service. If you come here to this sub account, sorry, this section where you can go to the services, you can find out Postgres. This Postgres SQL, Redis is still there. Let me just check it. Redis also there. So these things are available. You can just have a look of this. This Redis is a very Postgres is a very good tool. MongoDB previously was there, but they removed it actually. Joule is not use customer data to train LLMs. Is it correct? Yes, it is correct. But here one more point I want to add, because Joule is also going to be part of, it is already in a part of I think success factor, and they're going to also come for the SAP Analytics Cloud also. In that, you will be having some scenario for data predictions, for forecasting. In that, they may come up with the data that you are giving it. They may come up with a feature that can also help to predict more easily now, because the prediction was there from very long time. As I said, it's a very long time SAP introduced predictions. Yes, data intelligence is working based on predictions. SAP Analytics Cloud working based on predictions, forecasting. So those things was there. But now, how this particular platform, Generative AI, makes more value out of it, that is what we need to see now. All the time it will be exposed, because SAP started this journey and they're adding this Generative AI in the key services they are having it right now, or the key selling products they are having right now. Now they'll be coming it actually. uh, I've created a sub account with USCA but could not see SAP build code. Can you please share your screen for a minute? I'll stop sharing. Is it possible for you to share? I think if you are able to. No, go back to your sub account. I can see your screen where activate your account, the BTP trial account activation screen. If you can go to the screen where you have to log in. You have to go to log in your SAP BTP sub account. Once you logged in, you can just go and just show me like the services are available or not. Sometimes it may not be available under your service marketplace. We can find out from the boosters also. Let's see where exactly it is coming. Okay, somehow I missed your screen. Yeah, I got this now. Okay, I think I can see you have already subscribed, no? Yeah. So one minute, 1 minute. Go. Can you just go back? Slightly go back. Okay, you have created a sub account by the name of SAP Build Code here. Go to Service Marketplace. No, go to Service Marketplace. Yes. Here search in the search option for build code. Oh, build code not there. Okay. Now do one thing. Can you just click on the overview section in the left hand side, left hand top? Yeah. Okay. Now what you will do is you click on, if you see in your screen, if somebody facing this issue, for them, can you just click on the E4D your global account? See in your at the top section, you are under build code, go to the global account. Yeah, click on that. In the left hand section, you are having boosters. Click on the third one. Now search here. Just search with code. Yeah. Now get started with build code. If somebody is unable to, next one. Yeah, somebody is unable to find out in your SAP marketplace, service marketplace, go to the global account boosters. That's what I've given in my document. from the boosters only, not given the service context. So go click on start. Yeah. Guys, who have not even done this one, so you can follow the steps how he is doing right now. So now you don't create a new sub account. Select the sub account. You already created a sub account, right? For build apps, build code something given name. Select that. Yeah. Now go to next. Come down next, and finish now. Now it will take a minute or two. Will create. Once it is created, you come to that particular sub account, SAP Build Code sub account. Under the instances, you'll find out as a link called as SAP Build Code. It will take some time to complete all the steps. If what it will do is, it is basically assigning the service quota to your sub account level, subscribing to the SaaS application. It is creating the application space and assigning the roles to it. Okay, so how about BTP access? I didn't get you. I mean, you're talking about BTP access in the sense like the roles for this application, this particular service, or what exactly you're trying to mean here? So no roles you need not to give it now. We'll check that. We'll check that once it's done, because role assigning role collections also nowadays they are getting a part of it. So I said like I'll show you if you go there to the sub account. Once you see the screen, they are giving assigning role collections also a part of it, so they'll automatically add it there. We'll verify one more time. Once it is created, we'll be going to the user section and see any pending roles is there to assign or not. Can you go back to your SAP BTP page where you are subscribing right now? Yeah. Now click on navigate to the sub account. So once you navigate to the sub account, where you can see the build code should be available is one of the instance and subscriptions. Now go to the instance and subscription in the left hand side. Yeah, go there. Here it should build code, but don't click on that right now. First go to security, the left hand security side. Go to users. Now click on your user. Click on that. Not record. Just click on the row. Yeah. Now there's an overview in the right hand section. There is a drop down. You can expand also. You can expand that column, or yeah, anything down, come down. There's a role collections section is there, role collections. Yeah. Can you just click on the three dots? See, all the role collections are assigned. Now click on assign role collection. So these things are not related to your SAP build code, but these things are related to SAP Business Application Studio. Please assign for all. I have given these steps knowingly that role collection will add for build code for sure, but we are going to access SAP Business Application Studio also. So for that purpose, assign all the roles. These are the basic roles that you should have it for your trial account. Give both sub account, service administration. Yeah. Click on add assign a role collection. Now once you do that, all roles will be added to you. Now go back to your instance and subscriptions in the left hand side, and now click on SAP build code, that link in the application area. By default, SAP Business Application Studio would be activated for all trial accounts. You need not to activate like by your own. Like it will be already available. So just that's why we have just assigned the role. So that's why you reach to your SAP build code section. Now here you can create your applications from scratch. Now I hope everybody will follow the steps, whatever is shown here. Do it from the boosters. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Karthik, I'm having difficulty to access the SAP booster, the booster one. I created a sub account, but I'm having a difficulty to access the booster.
Can you share your screen once?
Yes, please. I'll do that.
No, boosters won't be here. You have to go one step back. You have to click on yes, there. Yes.
Then I need to click on the booster now.
Yeah, you have to click on the booster. Now search here as a build code. Yes, this one. Now you follow the same steps. Click on start and follow the same step that you just saw.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you everyone. Anyway, we're crossing the time now. Thank you everyone for joining this session. We'll see again tomorrow. We'll set up for everyone and make sure that like we are all in place. We'll give some brief about SAP build code and a bit about SAP BTP in detail. So that's the plan that I have made actually. So let's everybody go and understood about SAP build code and along with SAP BTP first. We'll also discuss about a brief about SAP Build Apps and a bit other things also. So no worries, we'll go one by one with a slow space and we'll try to make sure that everybody understood everything. So I think somebody has got a thing like access denied. Make sure that the roles are assigned. If it is if it is assigned newly, then you don't try the same browser. You need to close the entire browser and otherwise you can choose a different browser to log in because it will take the cache actually. It will not reflect very immediately. So if somebody assigned the role, still getting the access denied, try the different browser, not tab. I'm talking about different browser. Otherwise, close the entire browser, reopen it. After clearing cache, it will work immediately. Because sometimes roles are assigned, but it is still taking the cache, so it will not reflect immediately. Okay, but let me know if you're still facing the same issue. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining the session. Hope you like it. So see you next day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karthik.
Thank
It was
you.
a good session. Thank you.